Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Carson Rouse, and welcome back to Business Buzz, where we focus on business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Today, I'm going to be going through my 3 favorite mutual funds for 2021. So if you guys don't know what mutual funds are, they're a great financial tool to save for things like retirement. They can be used to save for anything you'd like, but mutual funds are very common for retirement, especially in your later years when you're getting closer and closer to that magical age that you're going to retire. Nearly a third of all Americans are invested in mutual funds, and they are most commonly found in your 401k. So you might be invested in a mutual fund and not even know it if you don't pay that close attention to your 401k. How mutual funds work is that they take a pool of everybody's money who's invested in that mutual fund, and they use that to purchase stocks, and that is what's known as their holdings, right? And oftentimes they are actively managed by professionals who can constantly buy and sell new and different stocks, which can affect your performance. Another thing to keep in mind about mutual funds is that they're generally much safer to invest in than an individual stock. The reason for this is simple. It's because mutual funds are diversified amongst many different stocks, almost like kind of like an index fund, whereas obviously an individual stock is a lone stock. So if you're invested in Tesla and Tesla just goes all the way down, you lose that money, right? You lose a lot of money. But if you're invested in a mutual fund that just so happens to have Tesla as one of their stocks and Tesla goes way down, it's not going to hurt you as bad because there's plenty of other stocks to offset that. However, that also does mean that you're minimizing your potential reward. You're minimizing risk, but you're also minimizing reward. But you can still get great gains from mutual funds. In most cases, you'll end up making a decent return by the end of the year with mutual funds, whether they're invested in 10 different companies or thousands. Before I get into number 1, please go down and give this video a big like. I would really appreciate it. Number 1, Vanguard Small Cap Value Fund. This is a really peculiar mutual fund because they use the strategy of value investing, but they use the strategy of value investing on small cap stocks. Value investing is trying to find stocks that are undervalued and will grow over time as they become fairly valued. But usually that's done with more large cap stocks, whereas in this mutual fund, it's done with smaller companies. The cool thing about investing in this fund is that when you're investing in smaller companies, if a few of these blow up, you got a lot of reward waiting there, because when you're dealing with these big large cap index funds, there's very little room to grow. You can still make very good money, but with these small caps, they can blow up and you can make a lot. So while again, mutual funds generally are a very low volatility tool for investing, a fund like this is going to be a little bit more volatile than your average mutual fund. It's still not going to be like investing in a single individual penny stock or anything like that. But if you don't like a ton of volatility and you can't handle that, then this one isn't for you. In this fund, they have nearly 1,500 holdings that are dispersed pretty evenly. So that should offset some of the volatility, but not all of it. 1,500 holdings, that is 1,500 different companies in one fund. Some of their largest holdings include Horizon Therapeutics and Catalent. Now, if you want me to tell you more about those companies, then you're gonna have to go somewhere else because I have never heard of any of these companies. Again, these are very small companies, obviously big enough to be listed into the stock exchange, but not big companies that we've all heard of. The great thing is that the expense ratio for this mutual fund is only 0.19%. The average expense ratio for most mutual funds hovers around 0.57%. So that's about a third of the average, which is great. Expense ratio is basically how much you'll be paying for upkeep. They got to pay the people that are working on these stocks, general maintenance, just paying people, right? Stuff like that. So 0.19%. So if you have $10,000 invested into this mutual fund, that means that $190 annually will be deducted just to go towards expenses. Now, I know that sounds bad, but it can get a lot worse with other mutual funds. This mutual fund on average puts out a return of around 12%, which is very good considering that the S&P 500 index fund usually averages anywhere from about 8 to 10% a year. Number 2, the Barron Partners Fund. This fund focuses on mostly US companies that have significant growth potential, and it's done pretty well in the past. This is a very risky mutual fund. I would even argue it's riskier than the one I just mentioned. You might be saying, how is it so risky? They use leverage. So they basically borrow extra money to invest in the stocks, which means way more potential for way more money to be made, but also means a lot more risk of losing money. So again, if you're not looking to take on a lot of risk with these mutual funds, wait until number 3 because it's not risky at all and it can still get you great returns. Over half of all their investments put together fall under the consumer cyclical part of the economy. An important thing to know about this mutual fund is that 40% of all their holdings lies in one single stock. Now I want you to pause this video, go down to the comments, and guess what that powerful stock is. It's Tesla, of course. It's also important to notice that while they have 31 holdings, their top 10 holdings account for 85% of their total holdings. That is crazy. Again, a little risky, but a lot of reward potential. They also have an expense ratio of 2.22%. Very high, but again, a lot of reward potential here. Number 3, the T. Rowe Price Dividend Growth Fund. This is a large cap mutual fund that has been managed by Thomas Huber since the year 2000. Some of their biggest investments include Microsoft, Apple, and Visa. Finally, some companies you've heard of. It's all in the name. In this mutual fund, they seek out It's all in the name in this fund. They seek out high-paying dividend stocks that they foresee will continue to grow their dividend year after year. The expense ratio with this one is about 0.62%, so around $62 a year for every $10,000 invested. This is right around average, not too bad at all. They've gone up 42% in the last year, and They've gone up 42% in the last year, and they've averaged a 13% increase year after year for the last 10 years. So it's kind of funny. Sometimes the less risky mutual funds can land you the bigger rewards. It's just how it works out sometimes. So if you're more into a safe, large cap dividend yielding, safe dividend yielding type stock, this is the mutual fund for you. The other two are more if you're younger, you got some money to take a little bit of risk with. Those mutual funds are great as well. All 3 of them I love, and I hope that you took some value from them. Let me know which mutual funds I should have talked about down in the comments and which mutual funds I should have left out of this video, because I know everybody's got an opinion. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.